He went by Sean Kingston, but his real name is Kingston Paul Anderson, the singer who shot to fame with hits like Beautiful Girls back in 2007. But in 2025, he was sentenced to 3.5 years in federal prison for his role in a multi-million-dollar wireframe scheme that targeted luxury vendors with his mother, Janice Turner, involved in receiving 5 years herself. I'm John Cordray, a licensed professional counselor who spent years working with clients on impulse control, entitlement patterns, and family dynamics, and the fallout from chasing status at any cost. I've seen how fame can warp self-perception. These are my professional speculations based on publicly reported facts, court records, and established psychological principles. I'm not offering a formal diagnosis of anyone involved in this case. If you're someone who tends to overthink decisions, big and small, like whether the next big move is worth the risk, I've got a newsletter just for overthinkers. It's packed with practical insights on managing rumination, spotting hidden patterns in behavior, and staying grounded when life feels overwhelming. Sign up at the link in the description or the pinned comment so you'll never miss an issue. It's free, and it might just help you spot trouble before it spirals. It's called the Mental Freedom. Another case, another clinical file. Woohoo! The scheme ran from April 2023 through March 2024. Sean Kingston used his celebrity status to contact sellers of high-end items via social media. He negotiated deals for things like a bulletproof Cadillac Escalade, luxury watches, custom jewelry and high-end furniture, and a massive 232-inch LED television. That is a big TV. Sellers delivered the goods to his upscale homes in Broward County, Florida, trusting promises of social media shout-outs, celebrity referrals, and quick payments. Once items arrived, Kingston or his mother sent fake wire transfer receipts that looked legitimate but never cleared. The vendors waited for funds that never came. Meanwhile, the pair kept the merchandise, totaling over $1 million in losses. What drives someone with public success to risk it all on repeated deception? Prosecutors described Kingston as addicted to a celebrity lifestyle he could no longer sustain financially. That points to entitlement. It's a sense that fame entitles one to perks without the usual rules. Entitlement often stems from early reinforcement where status brings unearned rewards, creating a distorted belief that normal consequences don't really apply. For Kingston, stardom hit young. He was a teenager when Beautiful Girls exploded, and that rapid elevation can freeze emotional maturity, leaving decision-making stuck in adolescent patterns of instant gratification. One strong indicator is narcissistic traits, where self-importance inflates and empathy for others diminishes. Kingston leveraged his name to build trust quickly, promising exposure that benefited him more than the sellers. And when payments failed, the pattern continued without apparent guilt or pause, suggesting low remorse or rationalization that victims deserved it for dealing with a star. This aligns with how narcissistic dynamics prioritize self-preservation and image over accountability. The involvement of his mother adds complexity. She testified that fake wires protected her son from scammers, framing it as maternal defense. That hints at enmeshed family roles, where boundaries blur and enabling behavior sustain dysfunctional patterns. The repeated nature of the fraud with multiple vendors, similar tactics show poor impulse control mixed with grandiosity. Impulse control issues make delaying gratification difficult, so acquiring luxury symbols immediately outweighs future risk. Grandiosity amplifies confidence that the scheme won't unravel, leading to overconfidence that forensic trails or vendor persistence won't catch up. Kingston's choice to send fake receipts via text, including one message to his mother saying, "I told you to make a fake receipt," reveals a casual approach to deception. It's almost as if the plan relied on an impressive level of optimism without evading consequences from people who do this for a living: banks, vendors, and investigators. Attachment dynamics appear here too, particularly in the mother-son collaboration. Reports note Turner's prior 2006 conviction for bank fraud and fraudulent loans, suggesting intergenerational patterns of financial deceit. If Kingston grew up exposed to such behaviors, it could normalize bending the rules for gain, while fostering dependency or loyalty that overrides ethics. The betrayal angle cuts both ways, deceiving trusting sellers who admired his fame, yet the family bond twisted into co-conspiracy. This enmeshment can stem from abandonment fears or over-identification where protecting the child or parent justifies harm to outsiders. Compare this case with the Billy McFarland case and the Fyre Festival fraud in 2017. McFarland was a young entrepreneur who was chasing celebrity glamour, promised luxury experiences to influencers and attendees, but delivered chaos through exaggerated claims and fake assurances. Like Kingston, McFarland used status and promises of exposure to secure funds and goods without delivery, driven by entitlement and a need to maintain an image of success. Both cases show how fame-adjacent pursuits fuel deception schemes when reality doesn't match the curated persona. McFarland got 6 years for wire fraud, highlighting similar overconfidence and outsmarting systems. Another psychological thread is possible identity-related stress. Kingston's defense portrayed him as having the mentality of a teenager from his stardom days, struggling with finances. Sudden fame can create imposter feelings or pressure to sustain a lifestyle, leading to denial about limitations. And when income dips, which is common in entertainment, rather than adjust, some escalate risky behaviors to preserve the facade. Kingston's refusal to adapt and instead doubling down on fraud reflects avoidance coping, dodging reality through short-term gains that compound long-term harm. The trial in Fort Lauderdale ended with the jury convicting Kingston and Turner in March 2025 on conspiracy to commit wire fraud and 4 counts of wire fraud. Kingston received 42 months in prison, plus another 3 years of supervised release in August 2025. Turner, his mom, got 5 years in July. Restitution orders followed, including over $38,000 to one victim by September 2025. Kingston filed an appeal in September 2025, but no major reversals have occurred as of early 2026. The case underscores how untreated patterns of entitlement and poor impulse regulation can erode even established success. As a counselor, I see these stories as warnings that fame doesn't protect against mental health struggles. Early intervention for emotional maturity, financial literacy tied to therapy, and boundary setting in family systems could shift outcomes no matter who you are or how famous you are. Deception rarely stays contained. It erodes trust and self-respect over time. If breaking down how entitlement, narcissistic traits, and family enmeshment can fuel repeated fraud just gave you insight into why image matters more than integrity for some, hit subscribe. I'd hate to keep staring at my own analytics wondering if anyone's going to subscribe. So please, subscribe so we can keep decoding these deceptive minds together. No VIP access required. Kingston's reliance on fake receipts and celebrity charm stands as another reminder that overconfidence remains one of the more reliable predictors of forensic difficulties. People often overestimate how long the facade holds. Now here's a summary of the key mental health indicators that I've explored, with brief definitions of each. Entitlement, a belief that one deserves special treatment or privileges without earning them, often leading to exploitation of others. Narcissistic traits, patterns of grandiosity, a need for admiration, and reduced empathy, which can justify deceptive behaviors to maintain self-image. Impulse control issues, difficulty resisting urges for immediate rewards, resulting in risky actions without considering long-term fallout. Enmeshed family dynamics, overly close or blurred boundaries in relationships where loyalty overrides ethical judgment and enables harmful patterns. Avoidance coping, dodging uncomfortable realities through denial or short-term escapes, like fraud, to sustain a lifestyle instead of adapting. Such a sad story here. Kingston rose to fame. You may have listened to his music. He had celebrity status, but it wasn't enough. He likely ran into financial trouble. His mom had a history of committing fraud, and it looks like she influenced him and used him for his status. So what did you think about this case? Were there any of the mental health or psychological patterns that were surprising to you? And that, my friend, closes another clinical file. Until next time, keep looking a little deeper, stay curious, and stay safe. And don't forget to subscribe to my newsletter. I hope you'll do it.